Yes, the game underway now here. Game 2 between Evil Geniuses and BEASTCOAST. Fog, this is Evil Geniuses' last chance, right? If they don't hold on here, that is it for them. And after such an incredible group stage, which if anything just gives more credit to how well Thunder Awaken and now BEASTCOAST are playing against them, you know, what do EG have to do to try and get back that magic that they had days before?
They just have to start, just clean up this early game, right? It really, everything fell apart before the 15-minute mark, it felt like in the last game. So let's see if they can do it this time. They did go for this Ember again, which has been having some difficulties. Of course, we've seen a lot of these lane dominators been able to punish the Ember so much. See what Abed's going to be able to do this time. It can be a little difficult versus the Lesh, but you can still, you know, do a lot with your Flame Guard and with your slide dodges and stuff like that. So we'll see how he fares versus the Lesh. And in the mid game, right? Because Ember, Naix Assassin can be really troublesome to play this Ember in a lot of situations.
Excited to see sort of how the carry matchup works this time around. It's the second time today that we will have seen a Life Stealer played into an illusion carry. Earlier we had it against a PL. Worked out, I believe they're right, with the Armlet into Miona build. I imagine we're going to see sort of a similar direction being taken by baldRTz this game. Do you like sort of that approach in terms of what carry to pick into a Naga Siren lineup?
I think people just also, you want to make sure you get like this good lane as well, and it's a hero that actually can, you know, like you said, you itemize, you will be able to withstand the pressure of these illusions at some point. So I think it can work, and he also does have, it's not like it's just him on his own, right? He does have the Ember as well too, so if it was just a Life Stealer versus these illusion cores, then I'm always very worrisome. But even earlier we saw when it was the Life Stealer versus the PL, he had like an Earth Shaker, he had all these different elements to help him as well too. So I think it's, you know, it's not always like the best pick to deal with the illusions, but if you have some other complements, it can work out fine. So we'll see how that all goes. And yeah, I'm going to be looking a lot at Abed. I think last game, it was one of the rougher games I think I've ever seen from him. So let's see how much he's going to be able to improve this time.
Yeah, for sure. Those sort of early movements that he went for just did not pay off. So we'll have to see if he has a bit of a better chance getting that early momentum that he wants to be able to find to allow him to continue to make aggressive plays throughout the mid-game as an Ember Spirit and just be able to be a part of EG just closing down the map and limiting the areas that K1 feels safe to sort of place himself.
Yeah. And let's see how much, how well of a game Nightfall is able to have this time too, because he tends to be the kind of the guy for EG that really sets the tempo and the pressure. So let's see what he's going to be able to do on the Beastmaster this time, because he is playing versus Chen, one of the harder counters in a way versus the Beast as the game progresses. Because even when you get your Helm of Overload, he can get his Shard, he steals your Ancients. There's so many plays that you can do as a Chen versus Beast. So see how Nightfall is going to. Adapt versus.
Of course, top lane as well. You know, Whisper, last pick of the draft, getting the Brewmaster this game. We saw him pop off once again, as he has been in many of the performances for BEASTCOAST. Last game on the Mars, getting in the Brewmaster. Yeah, BEASTCOAST, they've got to feel just as good, if not even better, than what they're able to see Whisper on in terms of heroes, because this is one that you can completely control the team fights with.
And they will have two different ways of completely controlling team fights, right? They have Naga Siren and Brew, so they have a lot of different ways where it's like, oh, this fight's not ours, we can full disengage. Or this is a fight where, oh man, it looks like we can stop them, we can actually fully surround them with the Brew and the Naga Siren. So right now, no one really being left too far behind. Beastmaster, you see a little bit of pressure, of course, from that Chen, but he's going to go for the Axe route. Not having any of those summons early on. She'll be able to catch up. But Naga Siren, it does mean K1's just going to have a full free farm lane, which always tends to be pretty problematic when K1's able to do stuff like that. That being said, RTZ is also getting his full free farm. And we are seeing, of course, the switch of like 5 Mirana again, right? We've seen him multiple times now today. Crit playing it in the top lane. We have the CM playing bottom.
And as mentioned in that pre-game interview too, you know, Gajira, Naix Assassin, very much one of the supports of the tournament, it really feels like, in terms of heroes. I mean, what makes this so good right now? He's still got a Mango and a stun back in 7 seconds.
I mean,
might be a little dead. Maybe he can get the deny. No, won't be able to do so. So Crit will manage to chase him down and get that first blood.
5 Mirana, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to start seeing that in your pubs probably. Looks, I mean, honestly, if you go for like the chase when people are pulling creeps, it's pretty good. You do pretty decent, right? The harassment and stuff. Nicely done from Crit. And now also, so looking at this mid matchup, we see the Ember doing pretty well. He actually has potential to get rotations from the arrow from Crit too, if they do get a connection. And he actually hits.
They do.
Uh-oh.
And with that, the Flame Guard's up. He'll run down Chris. Won't look to dive the tower, but you saw the potential there. Chris, very fortunate that he was able to get the stun off himself at the same time. So the damage was limited that Abed could get out onto Chris during that stun from Crit.
I was gonna say, I wonder if Abed does look to grab an early point and change to set up for these type of early rotations, but I mean, didn't need it that time. But Chris will get some help, of course. Gojira coming in. And and they will be double checking these runes. An arrow connects again. Crit able to take that one away.
Some good early positioning here from Crit.
I like how he's playing it too, because he knows now Lifestealer's in a 1v1 matchup versus the Brew, so baldRTz is just fine. He's going to be able to free farm. Whisper's going to get farmed too, but baldRTz is under no pressure here. Actually getting some decent hits perhaps onto Whisper. There's a lot of creeps though. Like 2 waves, over 2 waves adding up.
Anything that Beast Coast heroes can do with that sort of pressure that's going to build up underneath the tower with these waves?
Not with these 2 heroes. The Brewmaster and the Naix going versus the Lifestealer, it's pretty difficult. They can hurt Crit a little bit, but I don't think up here they can almost ever pressure baldRTz. And that's the reasoning why we did see that Lifestealer pick, we were talking about so much.
Yeah.
They have this Naga Siren and everything. It's not the greatest for Nog, but in the entirety of the game versus Lesh, versus Nyx, and even versus that last pick Brew, pretty good game for the Lifestealer. Just the rage in general is going to be really effective.
Oh, for sure. And of course, because that Brew was the ultimate last pick, you would imagine when Beast Coast were grabbing it, they weren't expecting it to be able to have its strengths in the laning stage.
No,
right? It's for all the other parts of the game, so
absolutely.
This is all as expected for Beast Coast in terms of the outcome of top lane.
Yeah, and it's for like the itemization of everything too in mid-game, because he's going to go for this Wraith Pact, maybe in this game, because he is playing versus Mirana, and Mirana is kind of a Wraith Pact killer, so maybe he will opt for a different type of build, we'll see. I know he's got the Urn queued.
You have learned nothing.
And there's just a crazy amount of wave pulling going on here. It's mid lane. And Gojira's just completely abandoned top. He's like, I can't slow down baldRTz.
Yeah.
So all 3 lanes.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Yeah, because Whisper's still going to be able to soak up the golden XP.
Yep.
I'd rather would get the solo element of it so he can get that 6 as soon as possible.
Yeah, and he can pull the lane himself, and there's not really a way that he dies to the Mirana and the Lifestealer. He can just, Drunken Haze and run out of there.
Oh, and the same to be said, in turn, Crit, he's like Wallahad around the map and continue to just hover around the mid lane.
Huge play from Gojira. Stops the TP back from Abed from the low ground stun. That new stun cast range, that's 750. Pretty much everything there.
The movements. EG will still be able to maintain control around the 6-minute power rune. It is a haste rune for Abed.
A pretty important one really for him to get, because he did get that TP cancelled for the fill up. Smile. Chris Luck will go bottom. We'll be able to get his own bounty rune to fill it up. And we do see K1 now starting to get some jungle. So slight lead in the laning phase here for EG. Nothing too crazy. About 200 or 300 on each of the counterparts. Does mean this is Helm. Helm is pretty much done. Down bottom for the Beast. And he does actually start skilling these boars, so the Chen's gonna be able to turn them against them.
We'll see which sort of route baldRTz wants to go with his build. When you are trying to scale up against a losing carry, do you still always get the armlet first, or is there potential to kind of go for that Maelstrom or farming item a bit quicker?
I always think Armlet is the most core item ever on Lifestealer. Okay. You kind of can't deviate too much. But we'll see. I mean, right now he's just got the phase and the Bracer. Maybe he's feeling like he's not going to get it early enough that he does want to go Maelstrom. But I think Armlet Maelstrom's fine. He's got the Ember, as we said, so he's already got a hero that can also deal with the Naga sometimes earlier on. But we shall see. Maybe he goes for more right click. I don't know. Nope. He's
going to. Yeah. I mean, this is, I think, the temptation. To skip the armlet. Sometimes when you're trying to play this matchup, and you're going to be farming for the most part. You're not looking to turn up to fights with that first item. You're just looking to clear through the jungle, clear through your half of the map.
I guess that's the reason, right? He's under no contention. Even when they do bring heroes to his lane, he's like, they can't actually threaten me too much. So I'm just going to be full free farm game. Okay.
See Crit and Fly trying to get a bit of information deep in Beast Coast half of the map.
Yeah, try to slow down this Naga Siren. Since they see the Chen just soaking down bottom, they know that Hector is just full jungling. Didn't actually find anything though. Nightfall, still level 5.
Might be able to get Gojira here. A Frostbite. And with both spells on cooldown, has the Fairy Fire, but another leap's there from Crit. He'll get and take the kill. Chris able to find Flight in return back in the river.
Does get a trade for it. Abed with the DD. Very strong rune on the Ember Spirit early on here with the Max Light.
Yeah, Chris has got to stay right back. I mean, he knows that if Abed hits another slight, very likely that Abed will dive the tower for him.
Yeah,
Chris gets right back into the triangle.
Perhaps you just wait for that one to disappear before you walk back toward that mid lane for sure. Yeah, but that does mean tower pressure. Abed and Crit able to hit mid tower. TP to mid. We get the bottle refill in time. And yeah, talking about Abed, we saw that he had a bit of a rough one in the last game. He actually has a much easier game this time versus all these, doesn't have as many stuns that he has to worry about. Last game, it's like everyone had a disable. This time, it's the naix and the lash that he has to worry about mostly, so a lot freer of time. But Carapace is really annoying.
It is very.
So
very much. Bottom Nightfall. I'm going to drop the roll straight away to give him a chance to run.
Uh-oh.
And Whisper, Primal split to the ready, and already a bit of a body block coming in with K1 and the micro of his illusions. Leaves no escape for Nightfall. So Raw expended, wasn't able to get out alive. At the same time, at another entry point of the jungle, they find Crit hovering around the stairs. So a couple of kills for Beast Coast, and they make sure that EG does not feel too safe coming back over to their half of the map.
And Whisper, he actually used the Thunderclap, totally missed the neutral creeper, otherwise he would have probably been able to kill it a little earlier. Might still be able to get it with the next one. But making sure he actually was maximizing when they used the split to kill the beast, and oh, the beard! Okay, when he used the split to kill the beast earlier, he actually used the dispel to kill the boar and everything too, so he actually maximized quite beautifully on this brew.
At the moment, sitting the lowest of the cores in terms of net worth, but if anything, from his previous performances are to go by, you know the Whisper's going to be catching up very, very soon. Always ends up incredibly rich here, even from the offlane position.
And he wants to be a little bit more like active of moving around just because he doesn't want to sit in the lane versus a lifestealer so much, so for these constant kills and pressure on lanes.
Yeah, and of course we'll get to the point in this game where it's K1 playing a Naga Siren. He's going to be soaking up all the waves, he'll be taking the majority of the farm that presents itself on the map. So a bit, sort of a different spread of value that you'll expect to see grow for each of Beast Coast cores this time round.
See what he can find. Whisper shows himself, he's quite durable though.
The split still on cooldown. TP reactions coming in. See if EG can get the kill quick enough. They're struggling to kill him at sort of the pace that they would hope for. RTZ continues to push on, will get him. They lose Crit in return. We'll see if RTZ can get out of this. He has the Infest, is able to jump into Arbed, and Arbed, with a Remnant at the ready, will be able to deliver RTZ back to safety.
That was close. If that stun catch, it actually almost catches the both of them there, could potentially be a disaster, but they do end up cleaning up Whisper. They do get a trade out of it though, so Beast Coast not the most fussed about it. We did see how tanky he was there, that brew. Even though he's only got the 1 point in the Drunken Brawler, he did have that Ogre Frost Mage, I believe, that Ice Arm.
They did, yeah. They're able to buff him up, but
yeah.
Quite able to keep him alive long enough. A nice read there from EG to know that they could get away with that sort of an aggressive play. Something they struggled to do in the early stages of Game 1. Already 11 minutes in, 5-3. EG definitely going to be feeling a lot better out of the laning stage than they did at this point in the first game of the series.
Absolutely. I mean, night and day difference. Stinger, I mean, look at this positioning from the Chen. He's up here alone trying to pressure RTZ in the tower. He's getting a lot of damage on top.
Bottom lane, another split and another attempt at a kill on towards Nightfall's Beastmaster. He'll turn with the Roar.
Oh, Roar's the Wind Panda. Make sure you can get away. Okay, in the Moonlight Shadow, they'll be able to reset. That was a cool move, though. While we were looking, the play happening bottom, the Chen was actually making sure that he kept the catapult alive as long as possible, top with his creeps, and just like kind of sacrificing them.
Good chain setup. Arrow. Not quite able to land it there. A little too far away. Too much travel time.
But they're forcing them away from the tower. So tier 1 likely to fall here with that dominated creep also coming in. Totally different game state, as we said. This time they're able to get 2 towers on the side of EG early game. Beast Coast not able to set that tempo yet.
Might be able to get Stinger here. Fly. He's got him. Quick frostbite, and the setup's there for RTZ to pick up a nice bit of bonus gold. Gets the kill.
I mean, look at his positioning there. A little aggressive there from Stinger.
I mean, he's been sort of living life up on this top area of the map for quite some time. Arrow, that's swiftly done there. Arrow is already coming in, and Arbed able to make sure that Chris is held in position for it to hit bang on target.
I mean, these two Beast Coast heroes completely in no man's land. Nobody even relatively close to them. The ward, of course, coming into play there from EG, kind of seeing that the Lesh was alone in that top lane. Good movements, 5-5. Still seeing the Nog at the top, but not by too much. RTZ is keeping up. And he's actually going to go back for the armlet.
Yeah, that's kind of for sure. I mean, as you said, armlet, you always want to have it on lifestealer, but of course going for it this way around the Maelstrom into the armlet when he knew that he was going to be able to play this whole top half of the map completely uncontested, you're going to end up with the 2 items quicker than if you did it the other way around.
I mean, it's cool. Yeah. Then now they have double Maelstrom, so the Naga Siren for the early game showing up. Pretty difficult for Hector to really do so.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
How close are we to this Helm of the Overlord? Helm of the Overlord is just about done, 600 gold. And Stinger, I mean, if he wants to save up the gold, he can do the option of going for that shard early. Right now he's got that drum queued up, but we'll see if he opts against it if he sees Nightfall. Pick up that Helm.
我正补，我反补，我正补，我又反补啦！
So they get around mid.
Yeah, almost Bloodstone also on Chris Love. But still quite fragile. We see the amount of burst damage that EG has this game. It's very different than the last time.
Oh, for sure. And of course, baldRTz, in terms of the nature of the lifestealer, he's able to put that rage and just get straight on top of a hero like the Lesh.
Yeah.
Almost farming neutrals.
Let's have a look here. We'll have a quick replay.
Let's go run it.
Yeah, one side bot is good, guys.
What is this? Gonna trade top? I'll just drop it. I'm gonna run bottom. Coming.
Naix top. Real Naix.
You guys top too.
There we go. Some very calm communication there between EG as they make that movement up towards that top lane, get the kill.
Yeah, they're just kind of, it sounded like they're mostly just calling like positioning of where all these heroes are, whereas the Naga always keeping tags, of course, of where K1 is. Because if they look to make an aggressive move, have to be careful, because that song can come in, things can get turned around, so keeping tabs of where K1 is definitely going to be important. Quite game though in comparison to last one, 5-5.
Yeah, which I think will come as a big relief to EG. You know, very much in the early points of last game, the struggle was just kind of keeping BEASTCOAST under control. BEASTCOAST were getting away with so many kills, so many aggressive plays. This time around, EG able to match it and get that little bit more value from the map so far. Slight lead here, 1K gold advantage.
At some point, they definitely do want to apply a little bit more pressure. They will, of course, have these like Maelstroms and Mjolnirs, of course, for the Naga Siren, but you know, we see how much you can actually just like cut the waves. They don't want to constantly be like dealing with all these waves at some point that Hector will be addressing, so see what they do. Because their lineup, it's a little bit more pick-off oriented, you could say, on EG in comparison to BEASTCOAST, which when they do have the Brew ult and they have the Chen ult, it's a lot more team fight centric.
You can see here with these moves, EG trying to find which area of the map K1's playing from with his main hero, but good read from K1, he'll back out of the map completely, so they won't find him.
He can be fight ready. He's actually gone for the Diffusal build early on here on the Naga Siren, so could even look to, if he gets like a grab onto Abed ever, that could be pretty much set up for a kill. And now the Roche.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the Beastmaster in his army. Decent damage as well from baldRTz. They can tank this up with the summons and look to go for this.
Yep. Oh, they're rotating over though.
They're taking it down pretty quick though, EG. So BEASTCOAST, they'll have to make a move soon if they want to try and stop this.
They do have this song in a second. The Naga's not.
It's already gone. Abed able to get the kill, get the Aegis. We'll see BEASTCOAST now popping the ultimates. Whisper leading him with the primal split, but EG, they themselves are split up.
Look at Crit.
Now they're going to see him now. Moonlight comes to an end, so Crit will die.
Oh, and also they catch Fly, it looks like.
Abed's also got to be a bit cautious. He has the Remnant, they're ready to dodge the split up. But indeed, the two supports look to be in trouble. Fly's going to do a fair bit of damage to Whisper with the ultimate, but he will still slowly die back up towards the mid. Actually, Kajiri's able to get the stun out to the two of them, but Nightfall has the roll ready, turns towards Kajira to take out the Nyx Assassin, and now baldRTz ready to chase down more, gets a double, takes out Stinger. As EG might be able to keep this fight going. Change there from Abed, but he's starting to lose his mana. Chris turns, looks for the stun, but nice sidestep there from Abed. Abed still ticking down very low. That's the Aegis gone. As he's down the ones, they've got to be careful about this Lesh. Chris charging through the middle of the fight. So able to burn down Nightfall so they can kite him out of control, and further TPs are coming in. They're surrounding the Leshrac, but they're being careful how they commit for this. They know that Chris is very, very strong here on the Lesh. And EG, they won't be able to hold him back. So Chris manages to get back out of there. A nice bit of action for EG overall. Sure, you know, BEASTCOAST, they're able to take that Aegis quite quickly out the hands of Abed, but baldRTz able to turn up, get some kills. He's got a continued clean scoreline here, 4-0-0 on the Lifestealer, and enough money to pick up that Sange. So now between the Maelstrom, the Armlet, and the Sange, this Lifestealer is pretty darn strong. 17 minutes in, he can absolutely turn up to these fights as we've seen, and he's not easy for BEASTCOAST to deal with.
No, absolutely not. Chris, we've got the arrow on him.
And Kajira's ready to back him up, turns with the stun. We'll hold back Crit with that stun, and now Chris turns, heals up with the Bloodstone. Gets the split up onto Fly. Crit tries to leap away, still ends up dying to the DPS.
Constant battles. Brew ult is 30 seconds until it's back up after all that finishes. And honestly, I mean, out of all of it, it looks like Chris actually comes out most ahead. Right?
That's
that
true, I guess.
Bloodstone coming back up at the end of the fight, able to replenish him and kind of walk through and reset. Pretty huge for him. He's actually overtaken the Ember now.
For sure. Once sort of yeah, the first heroes are accounted for, the ults have been used,
Yeah.
Raw goes down. You know, we saw how confident Chris can just sort of just walk through the middle of the fight.
Yeah,
Make sure that he's in position to be kicking out as much damage as possible. See top lane, Hector will play it safe, goes for the Song TP.
And the one thing too is like they've itemized now at this point, right? The armlet, the maelstrom. This is to deal with the naix. This is this consistent damage that's going to be clearing out these illusions. It's not this big like desolator, this chunking damage that can eat the Leshrac. So Chris, you know, he could maybe get away with quite a lot in this game.
They want to try and go for him, take him down in with the chains into the arrow. They'll sadly do so.
Great chain stun.
Solid catch here from EG. We're seeing if they can push on for more. Jump forward with the Remnant. Arbed attempts to close the gap on Whisper. We'll hold back though. Don't want to try. Maybe they do want to dive the tier 2s. If they catch him around this area, if Whisper steps out, they might go for a kill attempt.
Oh, the ward's placed.
Yeah, they'll see it.
Probably seen though. BEASTCOAST probably going to be able to get rid of that one quick. And you know, we did get to see a couple things also in these last situations. So much happening. But Chen, we did see he went for the shard, so he is going to be stealing those ancient creeps consistently from the Beastmaster. Chris needs to be a little more careful how far up he is alone. Sure, he's got the hand of God in some situations, but it's a lot of burst damage still from EG. Especially if they have everyone on top of him like that.
Dire's top tower.
Very close game, 10-8.
Radiant are scanning.
Still playing in this aggressive position, EG. Maybe seeing if they can do something early about the tier 2s.
I mean,
TPs are coming in. I mean, BEASTCOAST, they will take a fight if it is presented to them down here.
Got their ults ready. EG's just waiting to see if like people trickle in one by one, because their heroes, they do have burst if they find them in the 1v1 or in the 1v like 2v3, etc. But if it's a 5v5, it can be a lot harder for EG.
This tier 2's falling pretty quick here to the push of EG, and in fact, it's gone. So an early tier 2 tower taken down. At the same time, Stinger, he's really trying his best to get a trade up top. And on EG's side, they will TP back. Push Stinger away in time. He's going to go for the TP in the trees. And they won't know that he's there. Nice little spot to hide in as Stinger gets away. Won't get the tower, but still able to do a lot of damage on that top lane.
It's the Chen minigame. You know, it starts to happen at these points when everything's just split pushing. They have the Naga Siren, so it's just natural for him to start doing this. Getting a decent amount of farm to level 10 already with the drums, with the shard, medallion too. A lot of different ways to buff up and keep the Leshrac in particular alive. With a plate mail now too. Chris Luck sitting at 24 armor, 2200 HP.
CRT was considering sort of what route he wanted to take. Does opt to finish the Mjolnir. Also was thinking about the Halberd and the Skadi. I mean, what would you sort of imagine is top of the list from next? Does he want that bit of evasion, or does he want to have the Skadi to kind of deal with some of this sustain that the Lesh is able to survive off the back of in the fights?
Could depend on how successful the next fight is, right? Like if he gets a couple kills, maybe just choose the Skadi. If not, maybe just wants the Halberd. It's a really good Halberd game, so he probably wants that anyway. Versus Naga. Naga never wants to build the True Strike. Hart now finished up, K1.
He's going to be pretty hard to kill, even with that Mjolnir.
Yeah,
he's able to sort of split the fight with the illusions, get them on some of the supports. Now, RTZ is going to have his work cut out in terms of trying to just clear through this army that K1's going to be involved in the fight with.
They'll have to stick on him for so long, and he does have a lot of different ways to bail him out too, right? The Brew, the Sleep, the Hand of God, of course, from the Chen. See what EG can find. Fest is inside Abed. He doesn't have the BKB quite yet on this Ember Spirit, so still has to be very careful of Carapace.
Yeah, Gojira playing nicely around the sentry they've got down. Means that EG won't manage to find an entry into the fight from this spot.
Gojira mostly is just like playing either around the Naga or the Lash, just waiting with the Carapace, right? Because if that instant jump comes, he Carapace and they can turn it right away onto the Ember Spirit.
See what they can get to with this smoke. EG were pretty aware of this, and indeed with the scan hitting, they'll certainly make sure that everybody's back under the safety of their structures underneath their towers. So BEASTCOAST not able to get a catch this time.
Having to avoid fights a lot though. Look at the map state. Look at the way that they're able to just keep everything forced in onto the side of EG. BEASTCOAST. This Naga Siren's starting to be a problem.
It is. It's not easy for some of EG's members to deal with these strong illusions with that heart.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be either the Life Stealer or the Ember to clear out the waves. They can't be at every single one of the lanes. That's top now. Glyph is popped, but that is the tier 3 Glyph. Actually, I'm lying. It's a tier 2 Glyph. I'm sorry. I thought the mid tower was dead. So we'll have it reset at the very least.
This is the thing, though. If EG don't find fights and kill score stays pretty stagnant, you are going to see quite the difference in what K1 as a Naga Siren's able to clean up from the map in comparison to baldRTz on the Lifestealer. Already 3,000 gold difference, and that will only grow unless EG can make some sort of move.
But the thing, it's just difficult for them to look for the move because, as we said, you know, their lineup, it does want to look for these pickoffs, but when your lanes are all getting shoved in,
so much pressure
for you to find any of these pickoffs. And BEASTCOAST, really, they're sticking together quite a lot here. Now looking for even go for this next tier 2.
K1's been just microing the illusions perfectly on this sort of mid and top lane. 2 lanes consistently held right up to the high ground of EG.
Dire's middle tower.
Chris also having his Lotus done. I believe the Ags on the Brews about to be finished too. So BEASTCOAST, they're hitting quite a few timings here. EG, trying to feel what timing they're going to feel where they're like, okay, we can actually go for this straight up fight. It's, you know, they've got all these items, but when are they actually going to look for that real big on team fight versus BEASTCOAST? It does feel a bit difficult. And with if BEASTCOAST is able to consistently keep these lanes pushed in, at some point, you know, Roche is going to start coming back up. EG's going to have to look to make a move. 2 minutes until we do see that, but let's see when they do look to make that aggressive move. It's going to be now. They're smoked.
K1 not going to be able to offer up the catch there top. I mean, EG do look like they're interested in taking a fight here.
Still difficult.
See how they can start it off around the board. Fly.
Stinger.
Off the Frostbite, they'll go for the Roar on Stinger. Nightfall commits it with the BKB. They want to kill off the Chen. They'll do so very quickly. See if they can chase for more. They'll look towards K1. It's back up to the safety of his own high ground. And looks like EG, they'll just manage to get the 1 kill for now with that commitment.
Okay.
With the Roar down, they might have to be careful themselves. baldRTz steps forward. Helps the dust. Will be able to dodge out the stun. Arrow ends up getting blocked by the creep here from BEASTCOAST. So no connection there.
That was pretty close. Almost gets Carapist, almost gets stunned from the Lash. They'll find a kill on the Chen, but Chen now respawning. They're going to have to reset. Deal with their lanes again. I think that's actually one of the better kills if they can get it like that, because it prevents so much healing. So much chaos that will kick off.
It does just feel like, you know, K1's Naga Siren, it's getting out of control. He's pretty much got the Skadi done.
He's really going to just probably deal with all the rest of the heroes and isolate the baldRTz Naga Siren at some point.
I mean, baldRTz's really got his work cut out in terms of build. He is going to go for the BKB, picked up. Again, we saw being a similar approach from the Lifestealer earlier today against the PL, just making sure they can sort of stand in the fight, not have to worry about the mana getting burned through, and just giving themselves that extra time between the Rage and the BKB to just stay alive and just keep hitting this Naga Siren and trying to clear out her summons, the illusions as well as herself.
Stun, will connect on top. baldRTz's mana, it's time. He doesn't have the mana for Rage now, but they don't have anything else to catch him yet. And that can't quite. That was a little scary.
Whisper does pop the split. He's going to try and set up for some kills here around them. It will get Fly.
Yeah, I think he's like, they're just avoiding us constantly. Like, he just wants to look for something to use that split. And now Roche is up.
Roche is indeed. It's there and ready. So BEASTCOAST, they could definitely look to just step into the pit and start going for this. They have the song to rely on if they need to bail out or sort of set up a fight outside of the pit. And EG, only the 4 of them up. It's not going to be easy for EG to get in on this. You already see Kajira in his position. He's giving great info outside of the pit. In fact, he's able to line up a 2-man stun to start things off here.
She's gone already.
It already is. Aegis picked up on Chris. EG, they've got to run. Nightfall pots the BKB. Abed will go with a couple of remnants, but he's still pretty close here to BEASTCOAST. Ends up losing his courier on the way out. But at least himself and the hero will keep the distance. But he just picked up on Chris. BEASTCOAST, they're ready to come running down the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, EG, they found like the one catch on Chen, but now, you know, when are they going to be able to deal with the Naga Siren? This Naga is just getting way too out of control. Same thing with Chris. He's the one carrying the Aegis on this Lash now, too. They're going to go for high ground. With this available. But they're going to have to pop it pretty early because that Edict.
I mean, how do they deal with this? I mean, say K1 27 minutes in, Heart and Skadi.
He held the Edict. He actually baited the Glyph. He lifted his hands, canceled the animation. So they've got Edict now for the push.
Big brain stuff here from Chris.
This tower is going down. The Rax also.
I think maybe more, yeah.
Uh-oh, EG.
I mean, EG's out on the map trying to pick up some farm. baldRTz will TP back. He is able to finish off the BKB, so he's got his next item done. See if this makes much of a difference in the fights, though. Range Rax will go down, and BEASTCOAST, they'll back off for now from pushing for the melee.
They still have 20 seconds left on split, so they maybe wait for like 10 or 15 seconds before they look for that fight. Gojira trying to catch a cheeky stun, won't get it.
baldRTz. The Rage here. BEASTCOAST
They're still lingering in the area.
I mean, they're keeping, again, both of these lanes consistently pushed into the high ground, top and mid.
I mean, they're ready for fights. Like, the Bruce split is ready. Bottom lane, though, pushing in. They're going to send the Lesh to take care of it. Still sticking in the area, though, with K1. Denying away this farm from EG. 6k gold lead. EG, they see the Lesh bottom. They're trying to make a move out to catch something. Yeah, Naga just getting bigger and bigger. Lesh getting bigger and bigger.
They're going to try for a move in.
Gotta get something big. EG, they need to find something.
Vested into Night Boys, ready to try and play off the back of a Blink Roar initiation from the Beastmaster. There's an Arcane Rune in the river, though, so Chris, you'll have that ready for the next fight. Still with nearly 3 minutes on the Aegis, it's not easy for EG to jump anyone outside of the supports. Fly will start to try to start things here, and they will follow up onto Stinger. They'll get the Roar off as well.
Okay, they'll get the 2 supports. Pretty good grabs.
See if they can do anything off the back of killing the 2 supports.
They gotta fix the lanes. Lanes are all constantly pushed in, either from the Naga Siren or from the Chen creeps. Their whole jungle is actually also just being farmed from Chen. Like, I was just looking, I'm just watching the Chen microing all of his creeps, and he's just taking all of the farm away. So still tons of pressure on the map. They do get at least 2 kills out of it, but it is just those 2 supports, and now bottom tower looking to drop.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
BEASTCOAST, I mean, their macro game, very nice so far. Making sure they don't lose K1 at all so far. 0, 0, and 2.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Indeed. During the time those 2 supports were down, nothing more that you really could get other than maybe some increased sort of space on their own half of the map in the jungle. That there was not going to be an aggressive play made by BEASTCOAST, but unfortunately for themselves, not enough of kills to do anything aggressive and really deal with the push that's coming in, because already Chris, he's back up to the high ground on the bottom lane.
They're gonna pop the Rax glyph, wanting really to hold on to those tier 3s. Don't have another glyph after this. Now the push continuing.
BaldRTz, he's going to try and get in on the fight. Steps up towards K1. Nightfall, he has the Roar.
Got the song off.
Get the arrow as well. Rage into the BKB. So a long time here that BaldRTz is going to be able to continue to beat in onto the Naga Siren, but it's still just not enough damage. He's only down to pretty much half health here, K1, as he backs away. They'll kill Chris. That's the Aegis gone.
Dire's middle barracks.
A quick infest here from BaldRTz as he looks to stay alive. They'll get the opening stun onto Chris. Out to the side, though. Arbet's been held up by the split up.
K1,
BaldRTz chase him outside of the base. K1's getting low, falls to the side. They're trying to separate K1 from the lifesteal, and they'll be able to do so. K1's fine for now. As BaldRTz also falls back up to the high ground of his own base.
it connects.
Nice little arrow there onto Stinger. So once again, EG getting the 2 supports, taking that Aegis away a little early from Chris. Definitely a defense here coming out from EG that, all things considered, they'll be pretty content with.
That was an absolutely beautiful fight. Everyone's sitting at like 10%, 20% HP on EG, jumping in and out, getting these connections. Making sure that Chris Luck can't actually use this Aegis to its maximum. Almost even getting K1. That was a really good hold from EG.
Yeah, we definitely
getting that roar off as that song kind of comes out.
They came at the same time, pretty much. And indeed, you're seeing exactly why you go for this Rage BKB build. Just it gives BaldRTz this maximum amount of time, even during the song, to just keep hitting the Naga Siren. And we saw that ended up getting down to about a 3rd HP at the start of that fight. If BaldRTz is able to get that halberd done and then some sort of damage item, and during that sort of setup, they'll have a good chance of killing K1.
That was before they picked up quite a few items, too. Abed now has an Aghanim's done, too, so his damage is going to be quite a lot higher in this next fight. And they're looking to get aggressive. They're actually looking for more.
See what they can make a quick jump towards. In with the Remnant, Abed. Quickly sweeping the map. He's managed to get his way over towards Chris.
He's got Lotus, though.
They're underneath the tier 2 arrow. Is going to hit. Crit gets the angle. That's Chris going down. EG, they'll definitely want to try and continue to fight on for more. Kajira turns with the sun onto the 2 of them. Indeed, over towards the mid lane. They have the Roar set up onto K1. No further damage output for now, though, as K1's got the backup of Stinger.
Nothing to stop the CM ult. We'll clear out all those illusions.
TP over from Whisper.
EG now looking to bail. Another net.
And trying to fly, so they want to try and tackle K1. I mean, BaldRTz is going to go for the squishies first. Go straight for Stinger, takes down a 2nd support. See if they can get K1.
BEASTCOAST.
Very much for sort of the first time this game where BEASTCOAST are the ones that are having to play a little more cautiously around EG.
EG's definitely found their footing of timing really for the lifestealer to stick on his targets, right? It really is. This BKB, his halberd also making him super tanky, and he does have that Ghoul Frenzy talent too, so can stick on those targets a lot easier once he gets that initial hit.
I mean, and what is the item here for BaldRTz? He's got 2,600 gold saved up. Does he want to get the Skadi still to sort of limit the heals of the Leshrac with Bloodstone, or do you want to see him get some sort of straight up damage item?
Oh, honestly, Scotty.
He's got a lot to think about here, BaldRTz.
It feels like they're gonna start getting more and more damage for the Ember Spirit, so I wouldn't blame him if he does go for the Scotty. It is so valuable versus that Leshrac, as you're mentioning. Because he could also, I mean, we'll see they could also still get like the Mage Slayer Bloodthorn kind of build. I'm not sure who's gonna go for that, but it's always pretty valuable versus Lesh, so yeah, we'll see which one it's gonna be.
Look at this.
I bet he's actually got his shard too.
Again, a quick kill onto Gojira.
So I bet he's got Ags plus his shard, so watch for these remnants. Level 18 also, of course, was hit in that last fight. So his damage is gonna be a lot higher versus that Naga Siren too.
EG themselves, they might have a bit of a chance to push up towards their base here. They're bringing the creeps in on the mid lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Good sort of vision here towards the move that K1's making over towards the mid. Looks like they'll still hold back a little bit here, EG.
Yeah, Abed, he keeps a remnant there, goes back, is starting to clean up the counter push.
We'll get a bit of setup
in the area.
Onto BaldRTz, who'll be thrown into the air by Whisper. BaldRTz popping the rage. He's going to try and get on top of K1. Look at the illusions now. Turns now over towards Chris. The rage finishing. BaldRTz's got to be careful. Gets caught by the split. We'll be able to force him back to safety. Infest into fly. He's fine for now. He's gone. BaldRTz trying to go for round 2, but as soon as he comes out of the Infest, they catch him with the opening stun. Will manage to get the BKB off, and with that BKB duration, stays on top of Stinger. BaldRTz now godlike. He's ready for more. Turns towards Kajira. Rage at the ready. So after the BKB comes to an end, BaldRTz can continue to push on. In fact, no, he's going to opt to use the rest of the rage to TP out.
He gets bashed. I don't even think K1 actually got the hit on him there, but that was close. They actually got the stun there. Gojira, the two-man stun, it catches the Lifestealer and the Beastmaster in the back, so kind of splits the fight up. EG do get pushed away.
I mean, yeah, BaldRTz making the correct call at the last moment to get out.
Yeah,
realized that the fight was not going quite as good as maybe EG felt they could get it going. Okay. Choosing the right moment to bail out. But now, 3 heroes dead on EG.
And we do see that BaldRTz actually has gone for, I believe it was the Basher. Yeah, but he's going to go for the Abyssal to stick on target instead.
See if they can hold back K1 here. Is onto the barracks.
His BKB's cooldown, so BaldRTz does have to be a bit careful how he uses his rage.
Absolutely. We're seeing the rage alone, not enough for BaldRTz to alone in the midst of a team fight.
So many chain stuns that can come out from Gojira as well as the Lesh. Yeah, we see this one again. I think the stun is going to come in a few seconds right around this moment when BaldRTz backs up. It's tough to stick on the Naga Siren, you know, even though they do get this connection of chains, he is still very tanky, and they have to be very careful with these supports, you know, if they get caught at all from a Lesh, at all from a Naga Siren, they're just dead. And yeah, here it is, the stun from Gojira. Boom! Catches the 2, catches the Beast, and K1's able to focus fire.
Absolutely, any sort of stun that allows K1 and the illusions to close in on a hero. They're not going to stand much of a chance against this massive Naga Siren here, 28,000 net worth. K1 just continuing to grow at an incredible rate. Has yet to die this game.
Rosh in about a minute. Also having an Arcane Rune inside of Chris Luck's bottle. Getting more stacks, continuously level 20 on the Lesh. 20 on the Ember. You still keep killing this Ags, of course, from Whisper. Stun does connect, starting to burn away some mana. I mean, mana is pretty important on BaldRTz.
That is.
Rage and BKB, like, look at Halberd, Rage, BKB, like, he actually has to be very careful how he uses these. Now he has Infest, so he has 240 mana.
They're gonna get the jump on Chris in the mid. The rest of BEASTCOAST to try to make an aggressive move on towards Fly, but Chris was left behind, and EG, they move immediately to punish that.
Great Infest blink play there from Nightfall on BaldRTz.
So they can get around the mid now.
Ooh, might be able to get Gojira too.
But K1 is around, and the mana's gone on Abed. K1 turns, has the root, has the bash as well, holding him in position. As he steps across, there's no saving Abed.
I mean, his diffusers, it's really being a problem for the BKBs, right? They keep getting burnt and they can't pop their BKBs because of it.
And you see as well, Chris committed with the buyback. So he really wants to just join the push,
they know
or maybe go for the rush. That looks to be indeed what they're going to do.
It's an Agon in it, too.
And they don't have, of course, control of the outpost either, EG, in their own jungle, so they can't really go for some sort of buyback play on our bed either. They're just going to have to let this go here to Beast Coast.
And, I mean, is this one where you give it to the Naga Siren? Probably, right? Because he can just net the Lifestealer through those spell immunities.
I think certainly so.
I think that's gonna be
we'll see if they see anything higher up the list than that.
Oh, Chris takes it. Okay. I mean, the Nihilism also in a way could protect the Lesh, so we'll see. He takes everything. Oh my, okay. Takes the cheese and the angel.
I mean, he did buy back, you know. He wanted to make sure he got his money's worth.
That is quite fair. Definitely could see the argument, though, for the eggs on the Naga Siren for that, you know, that, of course, ensnare through the spell immunity, but... K1 also about to finish up a Bloodthorn. I mean, he's hitting critical mass soon. Maybe that's also why he's probably like, I'm going to buy an Aghanim soon, perhaps.
That is the thing, right? In terms of these two heroes, who's going to get the money quicker for their own Ags? It's going to be the Naga Siren if the game continues on for longer. As mid lane, K1.
All three lanes are getting sieged.
And what do you do if you're EG? You've got to do something. They're going to try. Nightfall, he's looking for a raw target, turns towards Chris.
Lotus is up.
Has to be careful as he holds back on it for now. baldRTz is in with the bashes. They're bringing Chris down pretty quickly. That'll be him down the ones. Arbet jumps in. He's going to get caught out by the spike carapace, but at the same time, just does get yielded into the air. baldRTz, he's focusing down the Naga Siren. K1's going to get forced the side. He's never get the sword bar. He's got the BKB up, able to charge you with the remnant. Take down K1. He's ready for more. Looks over towards Kajira inside the base. baldRTz, he'll die. Chris just charging into the disco pony. Pony just destroying them all.
Holy crap. And Chris just killed them all.
And there's no buyback on baldRTz. He's a hell of a lot short on the gold here. 1,500 gold he does not have here to get back in on the action. EG
isn't done.
They're going to try and hold with the three of them. And indeed, Chris is ready to chase him back up towards the fountain. Runs down Nightfall, and he's not done yet. He's full HP, and he's got plenty of mana to play with. The buyback comes out from Arbed. As EG, they scramble back towards the fountain. They've got to try and hold and keep their cool here for 50 seconds now without baldRTz.
They're going to get megaed. And there's still the cheese as well on Chris. Oh my god, dude, the damage that he did. They focus fired K1, but they ignored the Lesh for a bit. I mean, look at this 12,800 damage.
This is at least going to be the mega creeps here. Can they really slow down Beast Coast for this 30 seconds? I don't know if they can.
I don't know if they can. 30 seconds seems like a big window. This Edict is about to come back up. It's got the 25 talent too.
The first tier 4 falls. The second shortly to come.
It's going
the
down.
H is exposed. As Beast Coast, they're looking to close it up. EG, they'll go for one final attempt at holding back Beast Coast, but they're just focusing the Ancient. EG, there's nothing to be done. GG is called. Beast Coast will be moving on. And this is the end of the road for Evil Geniuses this year.
Oh my, South America has taken out EG. Back-to-back series, 2-0 both times. Oh my god. Beast Coast, the team that got EG into TI, now they've taken it away. Oh my god.
I mean, they've got to be feeling fantastic. From the first game, complete dominance from start to finish, and then the second one, a bit of a different approach, more sort of just focusing on and K1 becoming this incredible beast that couldn't be dealt with. He was just at the top of the farm and far ahead for the entire game. It just got too much at the end of the game. You know, EG able to pull together pretty much the better defense that we've seen out of both of these series, but it just still was not good enough.
Yeah.
Once again today, the South American teams coming out on top, and Beast Coast this is a team on LAN. It's so hard to prepare for them because they just hit another level when they get out there in front of the crowd.
They power up off each other. They play out for each other so well. You can see, as soon as the Naga Siren has a little trouble, Chris comes in and just slams things. I mean, wow. That was an unbelievable series. 22-20. This one a lot closer than the last game, but still, Beast Coast. Wow.
Yeah, it was across the board. Every single player there from Beast Coast just falling perfectly in sync with one another, and then just right up until that last point, knowing when to just really just put the foot on the pedal and push it to the max, right? It was so Chris just running into the base, running down them all. A point where baldRTz doesn't have the buyback gold. It's just over from that moment. They couldn't kill the Lesh. They couldn't kill the Naga Siren. It was too much for Evil Geniuses today as Beast Coast knocked them out of the competition. Beast Coast, they'll be the ones to get to continue their lower bracket run here at the International.
Thank you very much, OD Pixel and Fogged. Yes, Beast Coast just dominating. You know, another 2-0 here at the International. We've seen so many 2-0s. I'm really hoping we do get a best of 3 go all the way. But unfortunately, Evil Geniuses, that's the last North American team, I believe. It's only, is it only Snake King that is left from America?
It's something along those lines.
Yes,
I would-
my
Yeah,
knowledge,
they still
yes.
have only
The
snaking.
weight of
just
America on snaking.
Well, he can lift a lot. He's a buff
But-
boy.
He is buff.
South America.
America, yes.
Let's go,
focus there.
baby. And we're still alive and strong. I mean, obviously sad for EG, but Beast Coast played hype as per usual. And I didn't think this would be a good Naga game, but he made it work so well. Like when they hit that heart timing, especially.
Yeah, I think the main thing from Beast Coast is they, under the pressure of EG early on, Abed with his Ember, crit on the Miranda, is really making these early plays. Abed kind of sacrificed his game a little bit, so when they got the Aegis onto the side of EG, then Beast Coast instantly swiped it away within a minute, if that, or like 30 seconds, and EG's kind of momentum completely shifted, and Beast Coast, they look back to their Naga side and say, come on mate, it's your turn to take over the game.
And I have to say, te quiero mucho, Arturito. You tried your best. He went for that Mjolnir. He fought them off valiantly on his lifestealer, itemized well against the Naga, but at the end, even though Naga was given a lot of space and he was the focal point, like he was what everyone was focusing on, it was C-Smile, it was Chris Luck that was just deleting everyone on the Leshrac. Like he went for a very interesting item build as well with a Lotus Orb, which allowed him to just completely stay up front and soak in all the damage.
Yeah, so there we have it. And that last fight, as you saw, once the buyback came in and the amount of